Good morning, everybody. It's a Friday. And of course, we're all looking forward to the weekend. But for the moment, let's deal with the business at hand. It's September 16, 2022. It's a Friday. Welcome to the program agenda. And let's get on with our daily starter. And it goes, sometimes the answer to our prayers is not gaining, but losing, which ultimately is the gain. Some of you may wonder, how can you actually gain by losing? Well, all you have to do is look up the playlist of the country singer Garth Brooks and listen to the song, Thank God for Unanswered Prayers, okay? Where he sings about meeting up with his first love in high school during a reunion. And when he finally got to see her after so many years, he realized that the years had not been kind to her, neither to him, and that he ended up marrying the true love for his life, which was his wife. So it's just a song, but it reflects many things in life. Many of you, I'm sure, have a job that you can look back to that you had the chance or wanted to get, and then in the end heard that it was the employer was the demon from hell, or you lost the opportunity to invest something, or I know someone who was borrowing money from me, wanting to buy certain products in bulk. And he was borrowing money from everybody. And I counseled him and said, be careful. Grow at your own pace, buy at your own capacities. Don't speculate, because you never know if the bottom can fall out of the barrel. And true enough, it happened. The bottom fell out of the barrel, and that person missed that disaster because he could have lost all the money he borrowed and would be in debt for at least a year or 2 years. So losing may actually be a gain. Now let's go to the front page of the Philippine Star, where I will be your news reader this morning. And the headline for today is World Health Organization declares end of COVID pandemic in sight, okay? Meaning signs indicate that globally the number of cases per week, per month has been decreasing. Even here in the Philippines, week to week, it seems that the number of cases have started to decline. However, we can only see the possibility of the end. It's not yet the end. All of you still need to wear your mask, even if it's voluntary, okay? And you still need to observe social distance, and you need to keep reminding yourself, I do not wish to get COVID. I do not wish to infect my entire household. And so I will take the necessary public health protocols and measures. Okay. Meanwhile, Marcos-Biden meet being worked out. The Philippine Embassy in Washington, along with White House, and I believe the U.S. National Security Council, okay, are working out the scheduled or scheduling a meeting between U.S. President Joseph Biden and Philippine President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos in the near future, when the our president, visit New York to participate in the United Nations General Assembly next week. Okay, so that's being worked out. So probably that'll all happen very quickly, because these things are pre-arranged, pre-discussed, and now they're just making the formal announcement. DOH COVID positivity rate rises to 12.5%. The positivity rate rose, but as far as the infections go. Apparently, this week's report is 7% lower than last week's report. So it all kind of balances out. Now, NTC, the National Telecommunications Commission, has addressed the telecommunications company phone makers step up info versus text scam. Okay. The NTC in a memorandum instructed the mobile phone industry to enforce a set of efforts promoting the use of security features of phones to protect owners from tech scams. May we just call out to the NTC, that is commendable. That effort will help. However, you still have to determine exactly who has been giving out, selling out, distributing, or whatever our contact details, which allow all sorts of companies to track us and advertise their products through text messages. It's not enough that there is a promotion. Someone has to be arrested or penalized for this. Okay. And then further down in the front page of the Philippine Star is a photo of President Marcos speaking with Murad Ibrahim, Interim Chief Minister of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao, during the ceremonial opening of the Bangsamoro Transitional Authority in Cotabato City yesterday. BBM called for unity among all Bangsamoro leaders. Meanwhile, in the absence of NCAP or No-Contact Apprehension Policy, 1,000 peso fine imposed for speeding on Rojas Boulevard. Along Rojas Boulevard in the city of Manila and I believe parts of Pasay, there are no road signs reminding motorists that there is a speed limit of 60 kilometers per hour. But with no timely warning to the public, the MMDA has started apprehending motorists for violating a 60 kilometer per hour speed limit that was announced in April 2019. So there you go. Okay, now we have an issue which I'm sure will probably be brought to court by some lawyers who are concerned for motorists, because this is somewhat related to government imposing penalties without due process or public consultation. We will have a guest later in the program. He is actually the lawyer who initiated the legal proceedings to challenge the No-Contact Apprehension Policy. Okay, so we will be interviewing him and maybe we can ask him about this. Meanwhile, Josie to make brief entry Pag-asa. Typhoon Josie was expected to enter the Philippine area of responsibility last night or this morning, but may also exit today. According to the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical, and Astronomical Services Administration, or Pag-asa. Okay, last but not the least, we have a photo of EJ, none other than Ernest John Obiena, coming home after his medal haul abroad. Okay, congratulations, EJ Obiena. Okay, and that's all we have for the front page. And please let us know if you appreciate the effort we make to read the front page, because we are trying to design the program to meet your needs, to suit your tastes, or to acknowledge your expectations as our viewers. And your feedback would highly be appreciated. In fact, we'd like to know if you want to hear the news first in the morning, or you would like to listen to the interviews first and hear the news on the latter part. And do you want just the news, or do you want some analysis, or at least some commentary if need be? Okay. So that's Agenda's way of responding to our valued viewers. Let's now go to the interview portion. Today, we have two guests. It will be a two-part interview program. And for the first part, we will be talking to a congresswoman, and in the second part, we will be speaking with the lawyer who initiated the No-Contact Apprehension Policy, etc., etc. But I am scheduling our lawyer not because of NCAP primarily, although most of you will probably be watching for that, but the fact that our second guest today has done a lot of goodwill for people who have been unjustly persecuted, or have had to, or are trying to rebuild their lives after spending time in prison. Okay, let's go to our first guest. Let's roll the Betamax, please.
Angelica Natasha Co is the representative of the Barangay Health and Wellness Party-list, or BHW, in the 19th Congress. On her second term in the Congress, Ko was elected as the chairperson of the House Committee on the Welfare of Children. She has also authored and sponsored several bills on public health and COVID-19 response, including the law on special risk allowances for healthcare frontliners.
Good morning, Congresswoman Ko. I believe you've been on the program before, right?
Yes, good morning, Cito. Yes, I've been here a few years ago, maybe.
Okay, I think maybe about 2 years ago. Anyway, it's nice to have you back. And you're back because close to my heart are barangay health workers who I feel have been getting a raw deal, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. And also, of course, children. Particularly children without parents, children who have been, given a raw deal in life. So when I heard about the particular information and that you were willing to come on board on the program, I said, yes, by all means. So, Congresswoman, wait a minute. How do I call you? Angelica or Natasha?
Just Nika is okay.
Nika, okay.
Yeah.
Pasensya na, no? Okay, I'd like to relax it, make it a little more informal so that, you feel at home. Nika, as a congresswoman, what got your attention regarding barangay health workers? Because what I understand from your educational background, you took up interior design. And I'm like, okay, nag-interior design siya. Siguro papagandahin niya yung mga government offices, public spaces, etc. And I mean that in all seriousness, Nika, because, when you drive around Metro Manila, even homeowners don't paint the front of their yards, don't paint the roof. So, napakapangit na ng Metro Manila.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, Cito. Maybe you just didn't see, but I was also in a psych major. I finished psychology in the Ateneo de Manila University. And then I took
missed
med
that.
school after. Yeah, and then after which I went into interior design. I've been through a lot of different, maybe different facets of, or different facets in my career.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been with the barangay health workers ever since I was in high school. When I was the president of the Philippine Regional Science Clubs, I was the president for Region 5. One of the activities that I did was medical missions, and which is why I was very close to the barangay health workers early on. Mm-hmm. When my dad was in Congress in the, I think, 15th, 16th, and 17th Congress, I was the one handling his concerns for the medical field, and one of which of course, very much rooted yung medical world in the barangay health workers because they're the frontliners in the barangays. And every barangay, there's at least dapat at least 1% of the population should be barangay health workers. So I've been closely working with them, and when they requested for a party list for themselves, they actually did not want to be running. So parang medyo na-confuse kami for a while kasi they requested for a party list but did not want to run, and nobody would represent. And so para it was then handed to me because the representation must be there. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, well, who better to represent them than someone who understands the business of Congress or how Congress works? And you, having been under your father's wing for three Congresses, fits that bill. Now, my question is this, Nika. You're now you're a two-term Congresswoman. This is your second term. You've been representing the party list for the barangay health workers. What exactly is the state of our health workers? First of all, I need to ask you, are our health workers, if you are a barangay health worker, is there an required educational attainment? Must you be a high school graduate, okay na? Or must you be a college degree holder? Or must you have a specific competency in a particular health concern?
Oh, well, first of all, they're trained, no? Whether they're high school graduate or college graduate, all of them must undergo a 3-year training, medical training, under the DOH. So it's the DOH who makes sure that they're trained medically. After the 3 years, officially they become barangay health workers. They're volunteers, no? So. But doesn't mean when you're a volunteer you're well off. You give your time, you give effort, you give money basically, because one of the things that one of the, I guess, yung workload nila would be getting the patients and bringing them to the hospital when need be. So, gastos nila yon. And sometimes, kaya rin nagre-reklamo because hindi sila nabibigyan ng enough allowance for their meals, for their transportation, and the transportation when they bring the patients to the hospitals. So, these volunteers, they just love the job, I think, no? Because when asked, lagi nilang sinasabi, ma'am, can I have an umbrella? Yung pwedeng yung mahaba kasi pag nag-iikot kami, may mga aso, we don't know how to protect ourselves. So, yung mga ganon, they never ask for something that's only for themselves. They always think about the work that they're doing. They're asking for equipment. Kasi
yeah, but
paano naman nila?
Having given your experience as a congresswoman and under your father as a 3-term congressman, what have you arrived at any particular conclusion regarding the standards that we must have for barangay health workers? Because I think that's where the problem really lies. When you have volunteers giving a service that is essential, particularly now, and particularly at the time when governments in the past have failed, have doomed our healthcare services. I mean, when you have health workers that are in because of volunteerism, the quality suffers, and also there is no respect. Have you determined that we should have a standard and official standard? Kailangan college degree, kailangan may sweldo, etc. Professionalizing barangay health workers.
Well, as much as we want to, every time talaga in Congress, there's a lot of bills pertaining to the barangay health workers. And we always want that they be professionalized, meron ng salary. But the problem is that we don't have enough budget. There are about, I think 500, 600,000 barangay health workers in the entire country. We still need more because dapat yung nasa batas, one barangay health worker is to 20 household. But the reality is one BHW to 500 households on average. And to have that much, no, meaning to say, ang dami natin kailangang barangay health workers pa. Dahil kulang tayo ng barangay health workers as with the statistics of the household BHW household rate, no. But because of that, we really cannot be able to give sweldo. We have met with the DBM countless times for 18th Congress, and now again.
Yeah, but Nika, do you believe? Sorry, we're on the same team here, Nika. So don't have any misgivings. No, kakampi niyo ako. But is it really a question of not having money? Because I mean, you know, when they toss figures like 5.6 trillion peso budget, 2 billion for the OVP, 600 million for intelligence funds in various offices, and then representations, etc. Parang, I think it's really a lack of respect for barangay health workers, and also a really sick sense of priority with government officials.
Well, you know, that's true. As much as possible, of course, that's what we want naman talaga. But I mean, every time, kasi we're passing this Magna Carta for the barangay health workers, included there are their benefits, among which are the 3,000 minimum honorarium na sobrang tagal ko pa bago talagang naipaglaban, no? Meaning kasi gusto pa talaga nila babaan because as they were computing, parang talagang hindi kaya because it's the local government who gives the honorarium. So it depends on the type of municipality. For example, you're in the 5th, 6th class municipality, then they don't know where to get the money. To now, there are BHWs who are receiving 50 pesos per month honorarium. So talagang, I mean, that's not even livable, sa totoo lang, no? I don't know where they can get the money. It's really the problem, I think. And then
but the ruling of the Supreme Court in the Mandanas case effectively increased the funds of all local government units and barangays, so they will have money. Not to mention the fact that because of the pandemic, the burden has been passed to barangay health workers. For instance, how many BHW do you know were killed or died during the pandemic in the performance of their duty?
Well, yung na-report sa amin would be less than 10 because they're the priority in the vaccination. But definitely a lot of the barangay health workers were nung nagkaroon, naging severe COVID. So of course, we're not discounting the fact that because less than 10, it's nothing. But definitely we've been giving out the PPEs and such, no. But yes, it's really a big problem. I agree with you na kulang yung suporta sa ating mga barangay health workers.
Okay. Going back to the Magna Carta, Nika, you're the principal author of that. You're pushing for it. You said that if that is passed, all barangay health workers will be given 3,000 minimum allowance. Okay. How far are we from the goalpost?
We're done with the TWG already, this 19th Congress. Well, you know, because it was passed in the 18th Congress. But this Congress, it's going to be in fast track mode. So, because we've talked about it countless times in the 18th Congress, it's going to be in a better position now in terms of scheduling. It's one of the priority bills of the local government committee. And so we're very happy that it was here. We're done with the hearing just this week. I think if I'm not mistaken, Monday. So as we're done with the committee hearing, we're gonna pass it to the Mother Committee, and then it's gonna be ready for second reading. And hopefully, if we pass this earlier this Congress, we can transmit it to Senate, and Senate can work on it with maybe 2 years. This 19th Congress.
Okay, now what about the Senate? Who's your counterpart legislator there? Are they going to start from scratch? Kasi if that's going to be the case right now, binabaraso pa nila. They're still wrestling over the budget, and you can imagine that that thing will probably won't be over until November.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are counting on the senators who have been in contact with me before. Of course, we have Senator Cheese Escudero, Senator Lauren Legarda, and the chairman for local government, Senator J.B. Ejercito. So they've been briefed already that there's gonna be a bill coming in from Congress about the barangay health workers. And actually, this was initiated before in the 18th Congress by Senator Ping Lacson and Senator Tito Soto. And sayang lang because I think medyo nagipit sa oras because of the election period. Medyo inabot na kasi ng election. So that's why we're actually very much wanting to prioritize this bill already in the House para matransmit earlier in the Senate. Okay,
please feel free to feed me some information, some key points para bakbakan din natin sa column natin sa Philippine Star, because we want, fair is fair. Our barangay health workers, they may have volunteered for the work, but you know, nothing in life is free. And we must at least pay them back for their patriotism and their sense of public service. Anyway, I'd like to go to the other topic of concern. We only have 2 minutes left, Nika, but what about this Foundling Act, or you're pushing for a bill in Congress regarding foundlings? Can you explain that? Medyo, alam ko lang, ampon, aamponin, at naampon.
Well, actually, it wasn't my. I want to give credit to the 18th Congress chairperson for the Committee on Welfare of Children, who is Congresswoman Yeda Romualdez. She was the one who chaired the committee in the 18th Congress. That's the time when it was passed. It was just now that we are learning about this because it's now a law, and we just had the signing, and that's why I was invited there. But it was actually the doing of the Committee on Welfare of Children last Congress. Foundling Act is about children who were sent to the territories abroad, Philippine embassies, territories. Even in fact, kung matagpuan din dito yung mga na kukuha sa basurahan ng mga bata, yung mga one in the front doors, you know, it's all the you know that notion, diba? So we don't know who their parents are, and we don't know when they were born. Dati, ang foundling, they don't have any citizenship. But now, because of the Foundling Act, everyone, all the children who are found in the doorsteps of Filipinos in the Philippines, or in the Philippine territories, Philippine embassies abroad, they're all gonna be Filipino citizens and may be able to get benefits from the Philippine government. So
okay.
That's the good thing about it, because before talagang parang walang rights because we don't even give them the citizenship.
Yeah, and that's beginning to become a problem because I actually know a young lady about your age who was found in a box of sardines, brought to a hospital, sent to an orphanage, and was adopted by a friend of my wife. And she's now a happy, healthy, beautiful young woman in Italy who speaks fluent Italian. So talagang, you know, this things can have good endings, but the Foundling Act pushed by Yeda Romualdez, the wife of Speaker Martin Romualdez, and you for helping on the implementing rules and regulations, will be a blessing to those children. So they get rights just like every Filipino should.
That's right. That's right. And it's very important legislation.
Okay, Nika, let us know what ever develops in those fields. Malapit sa puso natin yan. That is Agenda's Agenda, and we support you, especially for the barangay health workers, because if you want to get me angry, talk to me about the injustice to barangay health workers, and let's go to war.
I might need you someday.
You can count on this one. Thank you very much, Congresswoman Ko.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and good morning.
Okay, God bless you. Okay, that's Congresswoman Representative Angelica Natasha Co of the Barangay Health and Wellness Party List. Hindi po lahat ng party list useless. Yan, talagang pinaninindigan. But I kind of wonder, will there ever be a party list for public spaces? Kasi nakakainis na, when you drive around Metro Manila and you see all of these buildings on main roads that are not painted, even infrastructure that are so ugly and dirty. It's bad enough. We are the 8th most congested most traffic congested city in the world. I mean, I just hope that it doesn't happen again when some actress lands and says the Metro Manila smells of pee. Okay, tatanda, research nyo na lang. I don't know. I think that actress is no longer around, but we should be aware of our spaces. Anyway, we'll go for a quick break. When we return, let's go to our second guest, and please watch that interview because he's a guy who has gained fame for being the lawyer that filed the case for a restraining order on the No-Contact Apprehension Policy. However, very few people know that this lawyer has been helping people who were unjustly accused and sent to jail. One of his clients experienced that, babae pa. And he also helped them to put up a livelihood or start over. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, welcome back to the program Agenda. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being subscribers of Cignal TV, channels 8 and 250. And of course, for those of you who catch us on Facebook, as well as on YouTube. Okay, our next guest comes to Agenda courtesy of my friend, Mr. Resty Perez, who was bragging on him. Resty Perez is one of the most well-known, influential public relations practitioner in the country. And he said, pare, kailangan ma-interview mo ito because tumutulong talaga to, pare. Okay, so let's introduce our next guest through this video.
Attorney Juman Para is known as a litigation lawyer handling criminal, civil, administrative, and taxation cases. He is also the owner of Kusin ni Ato, an eatery intended to employ former persons deprived of liberty and ex-convicts. Recently, Paa made it to the news headlines as he filed a petition questioning the constitutionality of the No-Contact Apprehension Policy or NCAP.
Okay, Attorney Pa, welcome to the program. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning po, Sir Cito. Salamat po sa pag-invite sa akin dito sa agenda.
Okay, June, Attorney June, our common friend, Resty Perez, has been bragging about you, saying you help a lot of people, na nagtayo ka ng isang karinderya for a person who recently, or a year ago, I think, who was released from prison, and that you actually defended a woman who just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time and ended up 12 years in jail or in prison. Now, how did you get into this line of, or into this, how did you get involved in this sort of things? Meron ka bang calling to become the saint of the condemned?
Good morning, sir. Bali, anong nangyari kasi dyan, way back 2015, nung pumasa ako ng bar exam, wala akong kliyente. So, meron nag-invite sa akin na isang paying client sa loob ng kulungan. So, nakita ko parang laki ng market kasi kulungan siya, di ba?
Mm-hmm.
May mga problema sa legal problems. Yun. Bali, yung client ko na yun, habang nagkakausap kami, mga isang oras lang, wala na kaming ginagawa. Kaya yung mga nagtatanong sa akin doon, ang mga nakakulong, ini-entertain ko rin po kaunti-unti hanggang sa dumami ng dumami. So dati 5 lang, naging 10. So every week na pagdalo ko, dumadami po yung nagtatanong sa akin. Kaya isa po dito, yung nagkaroon ako ng interest, etong client kong si Paps po. Bali yung 17 years po siya nakulong na napawalang sala. Kasi interesting yung kwento niya. So nung nagkwento siya sa akin, initially, for the first time, paulit-ulit ko siya. Tinitest ko kung talagang nagsisinungaling at kung talagang deserve niya na tulungan ko siya. So siguro mga 1 to 2 months ko siya every week tinatawag. Makita ko yung consistency. So hanggang sa na-convince siya ako na dapat ko siyang tulungan.
Mm-hmm.
So yun po, simula nung 2016 hanggang nakalaya siya noong 2021, nung nagbago nga siya ng lawyer, ako na po yung nag-handle. Then eventually, napatunayan namin na wala siyang kinalaman sa crime ng kidnapping for ransom.
Mm-hmm. That was the woman, right?
Apo, si Paps po.
Pops, okay, Pops. So nakalaya siya. And how often is this? Gaano kadalas ito na nakaka-discover ka ng taong teka, this person has already overserved their term or was unjustly or was falsely accused and has been in prison without proper representation? How bad is it?
Yun nga po yung nakita ko sa loob ng kulungan sa dami-dami ng mga na-interview ko hanggang sa instead na nakakapag-market ako ng mga paying clients, doon yung parang hindi ako makatulog na narinig ko yung kwento nila. So hanggang sa dumami po yung naging pro bono case ko sa loob ng kulungan, lalo sa Quezon City Female Dormitory. More than 20 female PDLs po na tulungan ko na walang bayad.
Okay, more than 20 and all of them falsely accused, not guilty. Generally, ano yung mga, doon sa 20 na yun, ano yung mga findings mo?
Yung iba po kasi, hindi sufficient yung mga evidence sa kanila. So, at level po ng demurrer to evidence, na di-dismiss na po yung kaso nila.
Mm-hmm.
Natatapos na po. Yung iba po, na-represent ko naman, ayun, nagiging, naman po sila, not guilty or acquitted.
Okay, June, what about this story that Resty Perez mentioned to me na meron ka raw tinulungan na nakalaya na pero naging tambay naman, and instead of letting him just hang around the street corner and fall into the life of crime again, tinulungan mo raw magtayo ng karinderya. Kasi itong si Resty kulit ng kulit sa akin eh. Cito, kailangan pumunta tayo doon. Masarap yung tokwat baboy at saka yung goto. Sabi ko, vegetarian na ako, tigilan mo ko.
Bali po, itong karinderya, naisip ko kasi, out of more than 20 na clients ko pa na pro bono, may mga 4 doon na bumalik sa kulungan. Siguro
Wow.
yung leading problems talaga natin dito sa ating bansa, yung about crime and unemployment. So pag nakalabas na sila, wala silang ibang choice. Wala silang mga opportunity like employment. So tendency, bumabalik sila sa mga hindi magandang gawain, o na-engage sila sa ibang mga kaibigan na yun, nakakommit mo ng crime, then bumabalik. So eto, si Paps ko, dahil nung lumabas siya, sabi ko sa kanya, instead na mag-claim tayo ng 10,000 pesos sa Victims Compensation Program ng DOJ, magtayo na lang tayo ng business ng karinderya. Pero gusto ko, yung karinderya, dahil galing ka sa loob, yung portion ng profit natin, isi-share natin sa loob. Kaya through jail visitation and legal consultation ng group ko po, ng mga lawyers na nagbibigay ng libreng serbisyong publiko. Public legal services po.
Okay, I mean June, kung ano lang, kung Pope lang ako o Arsobispo, baka ilinya na kita to be beatified, ano? Kasi kakaiba yan, even in the Bible. Alam mo, pag binabasa ko yung Bible, sabi ko, malas na mga abogado, pati sila tinira ni Kristo. But it seems that there are still rare lawyers such as yourself who actually give free legal service and even go beyond that. You're putting your money where most people's mouths are. Now, itong sabi mong legal visitation, dumadami ba yung mga lawyers na tumutulong?
Opo, kasi nagtuturo po ako sa law school at yung mga estudyante ko dati, sila na po yung mga kasama ko ngayon dumadalaw sa kulungan. Na gusto nila rin magkaroon ng mag-serve din sa public. Actually, sir, marami ring mga lawyers na gumagawa rin ng ganito. Siyempre, hindi lang na-recognize. Even ako, hindi ko akalain na ma-recognize ako dito sa ginagawa ko. Kasi ever since po 2015, ginagawa ko na siya. Sa akin, ordinaryo siya common na ginagawa. Pero in fact sa iba, malaki po. Kaya natutuwa rin po ako, even pamilya ko sa parang itinanim ko ngayon yung lumalabas. Kaya wala naman po akong intention talaga na yung makilala para dito.
Well, clearly iniiwasan mo yun. No? You're not the type because itong NCAP has become so controversial, reached the Supreme Court, etc. But unlike other lawyers na bumabandera and panayam pa press conference, etc., you have in comparison been of a lower profile than other lawyers na medyo parang kita mo na kagad telemarketing na, okay? But how does that affect you? I suppose you're married. Are you still single or are you married?
Married po with 2 children.
Okay, now what does your wife and children have to say about this? Kasi baka mo sinasabi, Attorney Daddy, gutom na tayo. Puro preso kliyente mo.
Hindi naman po naintindihan na nila kasi nung bata pa siya, yung panganay ko, dumadalaw sa kulungan. Naiwan siya sa kotse, nandun siya sa labas ng kulungan. Ako na sa loob. Hinintay niya ako mga 1 to 2 hours kasi trabaho talaga ang hanap ko. Gusto ko rin matuto, gusto ko makatulong. Kaya yun po. And even nga po yung pag-interview sa media, iniiwasan ko po talaga kasi hindi naman po ako yung talagang parang private po talaga ako.
Mukha nga ganun because it took us some time. Pati si Resty Perez was saying, pare, kailan mo interview si June? Sabi ko, pare, mailap na manok yung kaibigan mo. Para ako nang huhuli na labuyo dun sa bukid. But June, you mentioned you're teaching law. Saan ka nagtuturo ng law?
school ko po, Manila Law College. Then sa PUP College of Law po. And sa Wesleyan University College of Law po sa Cabanatuan. Last year, associate din po ako ng law school. Pero nag-resign po muna ako kasi kailangan ko mag-finish ng dissertation po sa PhD course ko po.
Okay,
Kaya
tiga Nueva Ecija ka ba?
Opo. Cabanatuan.
Ay, kababayan, kaprobinsya ka pala nung nasirang ama kong si Louis Beltran, who is
Opo.
from Santa Rosa.
Yes,
And
po.
good morning sa inyong mga katagalugan dyan sa Nueva Ecija. Anyway, June, going back to our discussion, so wala bang program ang DOJ or I don't know who manages law schools or maybe the Philippine Bar, etc. Wala bang program like, medical schools na, teka, third year ka na o fourth year ka, law ka na, kailangan you have to have so many hours of legal service in prison facilities?
Yung Legal Education Board po kasi yung nag-oversee ng mga law school. Meron pong program ngayon, parang part ng bago ka makagraduate, meron tinatawag na Clinical Legal Education Program 1. Yun yung magtatanggap kayo ng client through supervised lawyer po ng law school. Then, Legal Education Program 2, yun po yung mag-a-appear na sa court na sinusupervise ka rin ng mga lawyers po, na volunteer lawyers, supervising lawyers from the law school po. Kaya, ito po yung parang practicum. Kaya meron na pong mga ganyan, na-expose na sila.
Is this mandatory and does it apply to all law schools in the country?
Yes po. Applicable na po siya ngayon yung CLEP 1 and CLEP 2. Ito po yung napakagandang programa.
Yeah, ngayon, kanya ko nga pinupursue itong linya na ito because how many man hours or woman hours, as the case may be, is required under those two programs?
Hindi ko lang po sure, sir, kung ilang man hours, pero buong SEM po yung CLEP 1, buong SEM siya, and another SEM po yung CLEP 2. Yung
so dapat
level.
makakakuha ka ng kliyente sa preso, it must be in the detention facility.
Hindi po necessarily. Pwede po yung mga walk-in na public clients po na may problemang legal na wala rin pambayad sa mga abogado. So, in-entertain po yan ng mga law schools. Kaya, except from IBP, except from Public Attorney's Office, pwede po sila lumapit sa mga law schools. Meron po tinatawag na legal aid clinic po ang law school na pinoprovide ng libre sa public.
Okay, kasi sana may particular provision to deal with detention facilities because yun, 100% lahat yung nandun may kaso. Tama o mali, may kaso yun, di ba? But anyway, okay, so there is such a program and we just hope that there is sufficient hours in it. Now, you managed to free a lady who was 17 years. My God, 17 years ka nakakulong. Akala ko 12 lang. 17 years pala nakakulong na inosente. Now, how often is this dun sa mga... I already asked that similarly earlier, pero marami bang lumalapit sa'yo?
Sa ngayon po, dati naman po marami na lumalapit sa akin. Pero syempre, pinipili ko po talaga yung tutulungan ko yung karapat-dapat. Kasi meron yan talaga gagawa ng paraan, magsisinungaling para makuha lang po yung serbisyo ko. Syempre, sa dinami-dami, 1,000 po nakausap ko na ng mga kliyente sa loob ng kulungan dati, way back 2015, 16, 17, and before pandemic. Alam ko na po yung tao kung nagsisinungaling o hindi.
Okay, most of the people you represent, yun yung mga hindi pa tapos yung kaso, correct? Or do you also represent yung mga sentensyado na pero nagpipilit na inosente sila?
Ayun, ito po yung sa grupo namin, yung mga volunteer lawyers ko, in-encourage ko rin po silang humawak ng mga sentensyadong kaso na sa simpleng bagay na makapag-research, makapag-file sa Supreme Court or Court of Appeals, baka mabigyan ng chance na makalaya po sila sa tulong ng grupo namin. Mga bago po itong lawyers, mga kapapsa lang, na ginaguide po namin grupo para matuto. At eager po sila talaga na tumulong ng walang kapalit.
Okay. Now, what is your batting average? Kasi Pag sentensyado na yun, nako, pag kinalkal mo yan, kaaway mo si judge, kaaway mo yung mga justice, yung registrar, whatever. How difficult is it to reopen those cases, and what are the batting average? Kasi I suppose there must be a bias or a resistance in the system.
Siguro yung best effort lang po ng part namin kasi napakahirap din po talaga ng mag-research ng mas malalim pa kasi yung limited time para makapag-prepare ng mga papers, yun po medyo mahirap. Lalo na kung walang kamag-anak na mautusan, even kami mga lawyers, kami na rin yung kumukuha ng mga papers galing sa korte para matulungan talaga sila.
And libre lahat yan.
Opo, libre po. Pag tinanggap namin, talagang wala po silang ibibigay ni Cinco. And even nga po sa karinderya ko, every Friday, from 5 to 7, dahil wala naman akong ginagawa na ng Friday ng hapon, except sa pag-check dun sa magkano tinda namin, para sa isang linggo, ayun po, bali, nagre-render po kami ng legal consultation sa mga walk-in lang. Yung mga naglalakad doon, nakita na may problema legal, tinatanong ako. Then minsan po, nagiging busy din, may mga volunteer lawyers po ako naka-assign doon, from 5 to 7. Even from YYC po, from Santa Rosa, si Atty. Disangco. Tsatsagayan, every week, sumasama sa akin yan para mag-render dun sa karinderya ng legal service po.
Akala ko nagbo-volunteer sa karinderya para magsaing o kaya magtadtad na sahog. Okay, attorney, now let's go to the other subject matter, yung NCAP. Paano mo ba natalisod yung NCAP na yan? Kasi, often there are a lot of issues that pop up in the news, and I keep saying, wala bang lawyer dyan na nakikita yung challenge dito, the legal challenge, the opportunity, etc. And then, suddenly with the NCAP, somebody challenged it in the Supreme Court, but we didn't really get your name, or there wasn't too much focus on you as the lawyer until sinabihan na lang ako to catch my attention. Cito, yan yung nag-file ng kaso against NCAP. How did that happen, June?
Bali, po kasi siya, ito lang po, mga factual na lang po, hindi na po yung arguments natin kasi under subjudice.
Of course.
Yes. Bali, nung magpaparehistro ako ng sasakyan, katapusan ng June, sabi sa akin may alarm, hindi marirehistro. So pumunta ako nung next working days, after nga po nung SONA, July 1.
Okay.
So pumunta ako dun sa May City Hall, ang haba ng pila eh. So tinatanong ko sa kanila, sino pwede makapag-decide dito kasi may issue ko. So tinuro ko sa tao na nandun sa MTPB. Sinek. Then in-explain ko yung side ko, sabi ko, sobra yung singil nyo, pangalawa yung interest, paano ako magbabayad ng more than 1 year? Kung ngayon ko lang marireceive ang aking...
May interest?
Opo, malaki po yung interest.
Akala ko fine lang ang binabayaran natin dyan.
May interest po, medyo malaki. Pero yung isang 2,000 po, umabot ng 3,200. Kaya nga po, from 14,000, naging 20,000 including interest po. Kaya kina-question ko sila. Then yung right to due process, yung ma-inform ako ng aking violation, hindi na padala sa akin. Kasi may issue about sa address. So sabi ko, babayaran ko na lang, ganito na lang. Baka pwede natin i-waive yung interest. So medyo hindi maganda yung pagsagot nung nandun. At hindi kasi po ako nagpapakilala ng lawyer eh. Para ayoko din naman parang ma-feel nila, harass sila. Kaya yun. Medyo parang ako naman na-harass. Yung pag-explain parang wala akong tamang nagawa. Parang ganun yung So sabi ko,
bayaran mo na lang eh, kasi kayo
bayaran mo, wala kang choice. Sabi niya ganun. Opo, kasalanan niyo yan. Tapos ganun, sige, bumaba na ako sa baba. Sa baba, sobrang haba po ng pila, mga 200 siguro kami doon naghihintay. So habang naghihintay, nakipag-usap ako sa mga katabi ko, yung mga nangutang lang para ma-rehistro yung sasakyan nila dahil meron ngang violations. Sabi ko, ma'am, ako magre-reklamo ako. Actually, lawyer po ako. Pero pag-iisipan ko pa rin kasi alam ko rin yung hirap ng may kaso. So, July 1 up to July 10 po, gawa ko na yung petition. Hindi ko na siya mabitaw-bitawan kasi alam ko yung implication ng may kaso eh. Iisipin mo yan eh. So, baka sleepless nights, Yung ganyan po.
Correct.
May stress ako na gusto, except sa kasong pinoproblema ko ng mga kliyente ko. May sarili akong kaso. So, after 1 month, nakita ko parang sobra na. Parang walang tumatayo para dito. Sabi ko kay misis ko, kung okay lang sa'yo, i-file ko to. Hindi lang para sa akin kasi bayad na wala na akong problema sa akin eh.
Binayaran mo?
Binayaran ko na po siya, although under protest, para ma-rehistro ko po yung sasakyan. Kasi kung hindi ko rehistro yung sasakyan, paano kung naka-aksidente ako? Or ako yung binangga ng ibang tao?
Yeah.
So, wala ko rehistro, talo ko. So, yun, ang nangyari po, pumayag naman yung wife ko na i-file na. Yun, ang kinuha ko pong mga lawyer, kaibigan ko, at saka estudyante ko sa law school sa Kabanatuan. Sabi ko, sekreto lang to, magpa-file tayo, wala nakakaalam. So, na-file namin sa Supreme Court po nung hapon. Hapon na hapon talaga, mga alas 4 na po yata yun. Kaya, yun, hanggang may mga tumawag na po sa akin, ayun, nag-share lang kami ng mga pictures. Kasi naisip po yung mga yung public, yung mga motorist, yung nagtatrabaho sila pero wala silang choice na dapat bayaran nila para mag-continue yung trabaho. Kumbaga hindi ko po inisip yung sa akin hindi ko na inisip sa akin. Inisip ko na iba kasi nakita ko naman yung batas, yung 8676 ng Ordinance ng Manila. Actually, wala kami makitang na
kopya.
Nakapaskil doon sa labas. Opo. So, nag-letter pa ako sa City of Manila na para makita ko siya. So, doon ko nakita na may issue doon sa constitutionality. About due process, about violation ng yung Data Privacy Act, then yung excessive fines po. Yun yung mga sinayad ko lang po doon sa sa arguments ko sa petition.
Yeah. So, bale, okay, na-file mo na yan. We can't talk about it in particular because it's sub judice or under litigation. Now, kanina nagbabasa ako ng front page and meron na namang isang issue na mukhang issue in the making. Hindi ko lang alam, no? Ikaw naman yung lawyer and I'm not asking you to jump into the boat again, no? Pero yung issue is nagfa-fine ang City of Manila ng 1,000 pesos for overspeeding on Rojas Boulevard. Pero nabanggit doon sa news item sa Philippine Star na chinek ng mga reporter, wala namang mga signages along Rojas Boulevard that says speed limit 60 kilometers per hour. Kasi nakikita ko yan sa SLEX at saka sa NLEX, pati sa Starway, ay sa expressway, na mayroon talagang mga speed limits. Dito, yan ba, is there a legal basis to challenge a situation like that? Yung wala naman kayong signages tapos nanghuhuli kayo.
Sir, avoid ko na lang po mag-comment para dyan. Siyempre, baka magkaroon ng yung public opinion, medyo baka ma-quote po ako.
Okay.
Pasensya na po. Okay lang.
Oh, hindi. Kasi I'm just asking more as a legal lawyer, no? Kumbaga, not your opinion as far as the law books are concerned. Kasi may mga tao na who have that impression If there is no sign or there is no, parang katulad nung nag-file ka ng kaso, may lumabas na mga article where it says you cannot make changes or impose laws with regarding street signs unless you ask the permission of the DPWH. Kasi sa DPWH daw yung kalsada na yan. So any directional signs placed on those are the purview or the authority of the DPWH.
Dapat coordinated po talaga ang DPWH. So regarding sa signs, sir, siguro speed limit, kung makita mo dito sa mga expressway natin, merong mga number ng kilometer per hour. So yun, kita natin yun. So aware tayo na meron palang restriction about the speed limit. So dapat ganun din po sana i-apply nila bago nila-impose yung ganung penalty.
Ayun, pati yung 'di ba yung parang publications or in paper of general circulation. So hindi pwedeng nagising lang yung isang head ng traffic bureau batas na. Anyway, we will see what we will see. We've run out of time, Attorney June Pa, but congratulations. I sincerely pray that the Lord would bless you, protect you, provide vastly and generously for your family, for all the sacrifices and the good that you do for others. Thank you very much, Attorney.
Thank you so much din po. Yan. Na-realize ko po talaga kasi buhay natin maikli during the pandemic. So, kaya inisip ko yung makabulahang bagay na hindi pang sariling interes or pang pamilya, kundi sa pangkalahatan. Kaya ginagawa ko po yan. Thank you po sa appreciation.
Thank you very much, Attorney. God bless you. Okay, let's go for our blessing for the final day of the week from the book of Haggai, chapter 2, verses 8 and 9. The silver is mine, the gold is mine, declares the Lord Almighty. The glory of this present house will be greater than the glory of the former house, says the Lord Almighty. And in this place I will grant peace, declares the Lord Almighty. May your households, may your offices, may your community, and may our nation be granted peace by the Lord Almighty. God bless all of you. Please keep it here on One News PH.